Hey guys, I am going to recap a 2012 drama thriller movie, Name in the House. So, let's begin. The movie begins with the introduction of a man named Germain, who works as a teacher in the school. When Germain was sitting at home checking the students' assignments, only then we see his wife Jean. She checks assignments of some students and asks Germain why you have given so many dirty marks to the students. On this, Germain says that the children have not written anything special, so what a good thing. Then the assignment of a student named Germain Claude starts coming in, which it was written that Claude wanted to go to the house of a student named Rafa for a long time. And then one day after teaching math to Rafa goes to his house. There Claude saw Rafa's mom Esther, which was very beautiful. While teaching further, Claude comes down by letting Rafa solve a math problem. Rafa below that mom was reading the magazine and Claude starts looking at her constantly. After a long time, when Esther gets up and leaves from there, then Claude comes back and starts teaching Rafa and tells him that your math is very bad. That's why I have to teach you tuition every day. Now after reading all this, Germain tells his wife that this boy's writing skill is very good, but this boy is God-gifted. Someone next day in class asks Germain Claude about assignment and says that if Rafa gets if you come to know what you think about his mom, then you will be in big trouble. On this Claude says that I have written this not for him but for you. It then gives Germain the text of the previous assignment. Then Germain tells his wife about it and they start reading the next story. It was written in it that this time when Claude went to Rafa's house, his mother was happy. Because of Claude, Rafa's math was getting better, and when his mom was going to the other side for some work, Claude looks at her with dirty eyes. When after reading, Germain's wife feels very strange that how can a child of the last think all this, but Germain does not mind and he was very impressed with Claude's writing skills. The next day, Germain retrieves Claude's family information from the school and learns that Claude's family has moved here 2 years ago and they have changed houses like this many times. Due to which Germain thinks that Claude is upset. He needs proper guidance. So now Germain is determined to help Claude become a good writer, and then he gives him some books for it. Only then Claude gives him the next assignment. It was written in it that when he went to Rafa's house this time, Rafa and his dad were watching the match. Then Rafa's mom also sits by his side, seeing that Claude is sure that he will definitely be successful in winning the heart of Rafa's mom. Then Rafa's dad gets an urgent call from the office, so he attends it. Now seeing this, Claude thinks that by doing this, if distance comes between your mom and dad, then the way will be cleared for him. At the same time, after reading this assignment, it tells about the methods of writing the Germain Claude. Then Claude asks Germain that why are you helping me? Then Germain says that your writing skill is God-gifted and I want to make you a famous writer. When he comes home, Germain's wife starts reading assignments, so she says too, that Claude is God-gifted. After this, Claude gives Germain another assignment at school the next day, so that Germain comes home and studies with his wife Jean. In that assignment, Claude wrote that I gave Rafa a difficult problem to solve this time and then I went downstairs to see Rafa's mom. Downstairs Rafa's mom and dad were arguing and Claude is overjoyed to know that. Next when Rafa that mom is too much outside, then she sees Claude, but then Claude pretends to see the painting in front. But Rafa's mom understood that Claude was listening to her, so she tells Rafa's dad at night that they have to find another teacher for Rafa. All this Claude is listening through the door. And after hearing all this, Claude starts getting tensed, and he understands that if Rafa does not get good marks in the upcoming math test, then he will not be able to come here again to teach tuition. Now after much thought, Claude comes up with an idea and the next day asks Germain to steal the math paper. In companion, he also tells Germain that he will stop writing the story if he doesn't. Now Germain is shocked to hear this because he wanted to make Claude a good writer. Therefore, at the behest of Claude, he steals the math paper and gives that paper to Claude. Then, when the test takes place, Rafa gets very good marks in it, seeing that her mom and dad say thanks to the Claude and do not take him out of tuition. Just then, Rafa's dad asks Claude to play a basketball match with them, but Claude refuses because after the two of them leave, Rafa's mom will be alone and then he can meet her. Then when Rafa goes to play match with his dad, then Claude comes to Rafa's house. At that time Rafa that mom was alone at home, and on her asking, Claude tells them that he came here to get his maths book. Then after searching a lot, they do not find any book of maths. Then Claude tells Rafa's mother that her mother had an earring like hers too, but she has left it now. Hearing this, Rafa that mom becomes emotional and then both of them start enjoying by drinking cold drinks. Now after reading this assignment, how is Germain's wife that if Rafa and her dad come to know about all this, then they will not leave the Claude. But Germain says that this is never going to happen, followed by another assignment of the Germain Claude. In it he has written that this time when he was very late at Rafa's house, so Rafa's dad asked him to sleep on the same today. Then when Rafa goes to show Claude his room, he tells Claude that he is his best friend, and then he kisses Claude so that we can understand that Rafa is gay and he has started liking the Claude. At the same time, at midnight, Claude comes to Rafa's parents' room, where he keeps staring at Rafa's mom sleeping. After reading this, Germain's wife Jean feels very strange, and Germain says that there is nothing wrong in this. All children of Claude's age have such fantasies. On this, Jean asks Germain if you have fallen in love with Claude because you are not paying any attention to me ever since you started reading her assignments, but hearing this Germain says that anything like this not there. And I like women. Only after that we see in Claude's assignment that he is getting very close to Rafa's mom. One night ahead and Rafa's mom and dad have a big fight, during which both of them were fighting like crazy. Now the Claude standing outside was watching all this secretly. After this, when Rafa's dad goes out, Claude gives a letter to Rafa's mom, which she had already prepared for such a situation. The same Rafa's mom calls Claude to her after reading the letter, and when both of them were talking, Claude imagines Germain, who tells him that you gave the letter too and didn't even tell us. Next we see that Rafa's mom likes that letter very much. That's why all this kisses to Claude. Rafa was watching from the window and he feels very bad to see this, after which he comes to his room, commits suicide, and in the last of the assignment it was written that the story is yet Germain. When it falls then he becomes sad and he was not able to tell this thing even to his wife. On coming to class the next day, Germain first asks about Rafa, but he learns that he didn't come to school today. Knowing this makes Germain even more tense. After which, out of fear, a teacher calls at Rafa's house to ask why Rafa did not come to school today, and he comes to know that Rafa is ill, so he could not come to school today. Hearing this, Germain comes to Claude, and then he asks Claude, why did you write lie in today's assignment? So Claude tells him that he wrote about Rafa's death to make the story a little more interesting. Now Germain was beginning to feel that if Rafa came to know the truth then he would really commit suicide, so he forbids Claude to write the story. But on this the Claude says that now he has come a long way, due to which he cannot stop hearing this. Germain says that I will not read any story written by you from now on. So Claude leaves by throwing his next assignment in the dustbin. Next, Germain is unable to stop himself and starts taking assignments out of the dustbin. It was written in that assignment that today Rafa's dad has come home very sad because now he is very upset with his job. Then Rafa that mom comes there to tell something, and seeing this, we the audience think that she is about to tell her husband about the Claude. But here she does not tell this to her husband, but instead gives the good news that she is pregnant, which makes Rafa's father very happy. Then Rafa comes there and says that Claude will not come to our house from now on and I want another maths tutor. Here after reading all this, Germain goes to Claude and says that Rafa's family is happy now, so it would not be right for you to go there. Claude also agrees on this and says that from now on he will never write again. Claude then tells Germain the further story that today he and Rafa had a fight because he had found out about me and his mom, after which we see that Claude tries to complete the ending of his story with Rafa's mom. When he comes near, Rafa's mom returns the letter written by him. Then Claude tells Rafa's mom that both of us can go away from here and start a new life. But Rafa's mom refuses to do so because Claude was too young at the moment. Claude feels bad about this and he starts crying. In the next scene, we see Claude at Germain's house. Germain's wife Jean sees him and tells him that Germain is not at home. To this Claude says that I know he is not at home. That's why I have come here. Then the scene is cut and we see that Germain is being evicted from the school because the principal came to know that Germain had stolen the maths papers before the exam. When the same Germain comes to his house, Jean gives him the assignment of Claude, which Germain learns that Claude was here, and Jean learns that Germain once told him that my wife is a nephew so we are not having a baby. After listening, Jean gets very angry and to vent her anger she makes relationship with Claude. Now after knowing all this Germain gets very angry and he gets into a fight with Jean. In the next scene we Germain and Claude see you talking. Germain himself could not believe that the boy who lost his job and his wife left him. Despite all this, he is still talking to her. The movie ends here. I hope you enjoyed the video, so click any video of 3 of them and enjoy. Next, please don't forget to subscribe our channel and please like the video and tell us in the comment how you like the video. I see you soon.